What's good, everybody? It's Big Game James, man. I'm back in these streets. I'm back in these work streets. These daggone dogs next to me, ooh, they be driving me crazy. But first, I want to give a big shout out to everybody this week. Merry Christmas to you. Happy holidays, all that good stuff. I absolutely can't stand Christmas. Not for Christmas with the loving and the family thing, but them gifts. Ain't nobody trying to do all that and break their back and kill themselves every daggone year to give out gifts. Every time I buy a gift for somebody like my son or something and they ain't pay for it, that's Christmas. Just saying. So I know you heard it from 3,492 content creators out there about these Dallas Cowboys, but you ain't heard it from me. So let's jump right into it. First, I want to talk about the Micah Parsons thing, and then we'll talk about the game. First, Micah came out in these streets and basically said, you know what? Let's get this done early. Let's get this deal out the way so y'all can sign people. Y'all can sign our free agents. I'm trying to get this. I'm trying to make this happen, and I don't need to be the highest paid, to make this happen. I need for us to get money to these other free agents so we can sign people, so we can keep this team together, so we can make things pop. I feel you, Micah. I respect that. I respect that from you deeply. And I want to give a shout out to you and CD Lamb personally, because y'all were totally ripped apart early in the year about your leadership qualities. And to your credit and to CD's credit, y'all manned up, y'all heard the noise out there, and y'all showed y'all leadership every day. Y'all showed how much of a leader you could be, and you're growing into the position. Doesn't have to be always words. Don't always have to be this and that. It could just be you coming in the building every day, working hard. That's leadership too. It don't always have to be verbally. So I've seen it. I've seen the maturation, the small maturations from both of y'all this year. So shout out to both of y'all for stepping up with that. But I'm going to just tell you right now, from my perspective, Mike ain't giving no discounts, dog. It may sound all good in the media, and what else are you going to say? You ain't going to say, no, I want to be the highest paid. I don't care about nothing else. You're not going to say that because it's going to come off as selfish. So you ain't going to say that. So what he said is what most people would say. If you're in that position, you're in the media, people are talking to you, you don't want to hear that noise. So yeah, a lot of people are going to say what he said, and I'm not taking anything away from what he said, but a lot of people are going to do that for the sake of the GP, the social media. They hear everything now, right? But no, Micah, you go ahead and be the highest paid. Reason why is because you earned it. A lot of these people in these streets, NFL, I can't even say they didn't earn it, because you're playing a sport that can't a lot of people play, and it's a physical sport. It's deadly, it's crazy, right? So you definitely deserve all the money y'all getting playing that game of football, right? But at the end of the day, if anybody deserved to be one of the highest paid, it's Micah Parsons, right? You just got 50 sacks. You're like in rarefied air. I think it's only 5 or 6 other players have ever did that. Got 50 sacks that fast, and you're with greats, Hall of Famers, Reggie Whites, DeMarcus Wares. Like, you're up there with greats, okay? So you deserve to be the highest paid because you've been a dog ever since you've been in the league. It's not your job. It's the Joneses' job to figure it out. It ain't your job to say, oh, let me give a discount so we can keep players. No, it's their job, because their ownership, and ain't nobody firing them like they always say. Ain't nobody firing y'all. So figure it out. You know he's going to be the highest paid. You said you know you want to keep him. And, I ain't listening to what the Joneses saying, oh, yeah, he gets it. And kudos to Micah. We ain't talking about none of that, because I feel like this is going to be long and drawn out too, because y'all not just going to. Micah ain't giving you no hometown discount, number one. I don't care what he say in the media. Number two, that contract ain't just going to be easy to flip and put together. I don't believe it. I believe it's going to come down to the last minute like it always does, because y'all going to lowball like y'all always do. So Micah, get your money. Put it on them to figure it out. Figure out free agency. Figure out signing your own. Figure out the draft. That's their job. That's their job. It ain't your job to figure that out. It's your job to keep doing what you're doing on the field, being dynamic. It's their job as the front office and their responsibility to do the right thing and go out and get some real free agents, go out and sign your own and get some draft picks. That's their job. So don't put it on you, Micah. So I appreciate your thoughtfulness, but I know you ain't taking no discount, and it ain't your job to figure it out. It's front office. So that's my thoughts on that. Now let's talk about this game. Cowboys had a big victory. I'll never apologize for a victory. I get it. Dallas sucked this year, but I already knew that. A lot of people in the streets talking now that they knew Dallas wasn't going to the playoffs. Y'all some liars in these streets, okay? Y'all some liars on these Twitter streets because half of y'all wasn't saying, we wouldn't do Dallas wasn't going to the playoffs this year. No, that's not what y'all was saying in the beginning of the year. So I'm just calling y'all out because a lot of y'all lying in these streets talking about, y'all know we wasn't going to playoffs, this and that. That's not what I heard in the beginning. I said in the beginning it was lame duck and we was never going nowhere. So I'm not tripping about this, okay? But one thing I do want to talk about, though, is when they talk about this tanking thing, I'm not a tanker. I understand and I get it, but I'm too much of a competitor. And I hate losing. And I damn sure don't understand the thought pattern when they think people are just gonna roll up on the field or on the court and just say, just whoop my ass because we need a higher draft pick. I don't know any real competitor that does that. I would never be like that. Even if I knew we needed a good draft pick or this and that, my competitiveness will not allow me. I'm not going to let somebody in front of me whoop my ass every play just for the fact that we need a better draft pick. I'm not doing that. And I think the guys have pride. It ain't just the Mike McCarthy. I don't feel like it's just that they're playing hard for Mike McCarthy. It's just within them to play hard. Now, they do probably like McCarthy, but most people who have competitive natures, it ain't going to matter what the coach is saying. I, within myself, have a competitive nature where I don't want you to beat me. So no matter who's the coach, I'm going to play hard regardless. You get what I'm saying? Now, some people ain't like that. Some people aren't built like that. Some people are just here for the money. And, they may not play as hard or let slack or don't study as hard. That can happen. That's when tanking happens, when you don't come to work with the mindset of wanting to win and be great. Once you get on that football field, though, or that court, the competitive juices get to flowing, then all that other stuff flies out the door to me. So, hey, I'm not apologizing for wins, okay? I know we want a higher draft pick, but if you can draft good and you know how to manipulate, then it's going to happen. This is going to be a spot where Dallas has multiple needs, multiple things they need to get. So wherever they land, they're still going to get a good player. You just got to be smart in your drafting and feel like you draft the right one. But like I said, this is going to be a better evaluation for me these last 3 games than beating the Giants, than beating, the Giants twice or the Carolina Panthers or the Browns, Steelers. That was legit. Even though Justin Fields was the quarterback, Steelers are still a good team, so that's legit to me. Really should have beat Cincinnati, and Cincinnati's in the playoff hunt. Really should have beat them. So to me, even though they lost against Cincy, that was more like a victory. We just kind of lost it. And then I'll count that Steelers. So them is the 2-1s. And then this game, and I said these next 3 games against the Bucks, the Eagles, and the Commanders are going to be a better barometer for me. Not for the coaching staff, but for the players like the Brock Hoffmans, the Rico Dowdles, the TJ Basses, Kevontae Turpins, these guys that I believe are going to be up next year, either whether restricted or unrestricted. These guys will be up. Osa Ogadazua, he might actually come back. I don't know. We'll see. Because I said he was gone. Because the Cowboys, they just you get too high price. They ain't matching people. But that was my eval for me. So the fact that these guys won the game and they still could have lost it and they still held on to win, kudos. I really loved how the team played. You know what I'm saying? Yes, there was bumps in the roads, and yes, they almost lost it. But at the end of the day, they fought hard. That defense, shout-outs to Mike Zimmer again, Grandpa Zimmer. I mean, like I said, the only thing I hated on you, Grandpa, was your age. I ain't hated on your skills as a coach. I said you was a dog coach. I said you was a great defensive coordinator, but you just old as hell. But obviously, you still a beast, bro. I love how you've been dialing up them blitzes, attacking, putting pressure on Baker Mayfield. I think this was another 4-sack performance. The defense just, considering what it was dealt with the injuries all year, switching over from Dan Quinn to Mike Zimmer, it's almost like you got to bring him back, right? Why would you flip him out for somebody who ain't unknown? And y'all already know who he is. So it would not make no damn sense for them to get rid of Mike Zimmer now. especially because y'all are the Joneses. That's your homie. And he came in and he's got that defense better. So it don't make no sense to let Zimmer go. So, yeah. And let's just keep it real, bro. If we're talking about the coaching, I told you with Mike McCarthy. I've been a Mike McCarthy. I wanted Mike McCarthy before they hired him. You get what I'm saying? I knew they were going to hire him, but I wanted him. And I've been having Mike McCarthy's back the whole time. Now, I did say in a tweet about a week ago, man, just move on from him. Because I know Micah said it, Dak said it, just move on, because guess what? You're going to win games with McCarthy. You are. You're going to, if you bring back McCarthy, or let's say a 3-year deal just marrying Dak, you're going to win games. You're probably going to be right back in the playoffs next year with Mike McCarthy. You're probably going to be right back in the playoffs. But what, to me, is going to show you that he's going to get over the hump? You had 3 nice squads. You didn't do it. What's going to lead me to believe that you're going to do it now? You get what I'm saying? And I know it's a slippery slope, because you want to bring in some other guys, but who's out there to really bring right now? I don't want Mike Vrabel. I'm sorry. I just don't want Mike Vrabel. I'm not hating on Mike Vrabel as a coach at all. I just don't want Mike Vrabel. It's not going to work with him. And these new fly offensive coordinators, they ain't coming here. They don't want to deal with the Joneses. So it's almost like, yes, a lot of us don't want Mike McCarthy back, but it's almost like, who else is out there that's going to deal with them goofy Joneses? It's like a catch-22 for me. It's frustrating because it's a catch-22 for me, because if they brought Mike McCarthy back for another 3 years, Dallas ain't going nowhere. They will go to the playoffs. They could go back to another 3-year run of playoffs. But I just don't see them getting over the hump. You had your opportunities. I just don't see it now. I just don't see it. So, yes, they're going to win some more games with Mike McCarthy if they bring him back, but they ain't going nowhere. They're not going nowhere with McCarthy. I just don't believe it. They're not going anywhere with him. Because here's the thing. His whole tenure has been it's like Garrett. You won a lot of games, Garrett. A lot of games here in Dallas. But you didn't win the big ones. When you really need to win the big ones, except 2014 season, that's the only season I really thought that you really won some big games. 2014 was your year that I can actually say you won big games, Jason Garrett. But to me, Jason Garrett won a lot of games, but never got over the hump with you, over him, and never felt like you were going to get over the hump with him. I felt like you could get over the hump with McCarthy because he had skins on the wall. But now, it's like, that's so old. That was 2010. I don't really see it anymore. I don't see this hypeness now. I just feel like the team's going to be good. The team will, fight. But when it comes down to them big games, I feel like they're going to do the same thing they've been doing, folding. You're going to beat the Giants, and you might beat one of those, a KC one year. You know what I'm saying? You might beat them one time. But this ain't no consistent thing to me. You're not going to consistently beat these teams. You haven't consistently beat the upper echelon teams in your tenure with Dallas. You beat a lot of 500 or below teams. But when it came down to them big teams, always happened. And the same thing happened this year when you played the Detroits. Even though you got them last year, that was fluky. But the Detroits, the Baltimores, Saints ain't no good. Saints ran through us. The Texans, all these playoff teams, the Eagles, all these playoff teams slaughtered us. So I can't be getting hyped over beating 500 or below teams, because when you play them really good teams, you always fold. So that's the thing about McCarthy, and even just this system, the offense, everything. I just feel like you're good, but y'all ain't good enough. And I just don't see like you getting over the hump with Mike McCarthy. Kudos to that victory yesterday. Like I said, Zimmer got that defense playing, bring him back. It's almost like, who else you going to bring back besides McCarthy? You feel what I'm saying? Because if you let go of him and you get another coach, they're going to still want to keep Zimmer. So Jerry's still going to be meddling and have his hand in it because I don't think they're going to get rid of Zimmer. Just like they did with Kellen Moore. They brought McCarthy on, but they were like, you still keeping Kellen Moore. So it ain't going to be no different. Nothing's not going to be any different here in Dallas. I'm just happy to see my team win and beat the Bucks. I like that. But as far as things changing in the future, no, I don't see anything changing in the future. It's going to be the same damn thing. It really is. And, it's just frustrating. You watch Cooper Rush play. The defense plays better with can't play better with Cooper Rush. That's why they've been winning, because the defense been playing good and Dallas has a run game. Which those things need to be there with Dak. Which they have been. I'm just be honest with you, this is just me. I don't think McCarthy is a big game coach. And I don't know if Dak Prescott is a big game quarterback. Mike McCarthy is a very good, I don't know if he's a very good coach. Mike McCarthy is a good coach. He is. He is a good coach. I like McCarthy. He is a good coach. Dak is a good quarterback. I'll say very good quarterback. He is. But they always fall short when it matters the most. That's my issue. Me and Tuck was talking about this on Twitter, and I'm not going to get into it, but that's just my thing. I don't think McCarthy is a big game coach, and I don't think Dak Prescott is a big game quarterback. Thus, the failures. That's just me. Crucify me. I've gone back and forth with it so many times. But I think that's why the failures are. Number one, you got your front office that doesn't go all out every single year. That hurts your team. Then you got a coach who is a good coach, but he's not a big game coach because he don't win no big games. And then you got a quarterback who's a good quarterback, but I don't know if he's a big game quarterback because in them big games, I don't see it all the time. So when you have those factors, when you have your front office who doesn't go all out year in and year out, you have a coach who's a good coach, but in the biggest games, he falters. You got a quarterback who's a good quarterback. In the biggest games, I don't be seeing it. Well, how are we ever going to get to a Super Bowl when you got those factors? I'm just saying, y'all, and that's just me. We got talent across the board. That's why Dallas wins games. That's why they're 7-8. Even without your top quarterback, you still have talent on the team. And the NFC is not super strong. So you can win these games. And it just sucks that Dallas sucks this year or is not doing this year, and then the Niners are terrible. How does that happen, right? But I feel like I'm just kind of rambling now, so I'm going to end it. But I think that's the biggest key to me. The front office doesn't go all out. It cuts corners. That comes back to bite you. Your coach is a good coach, but he still does those same goofy in-game things that cost your team. That holds you back. And then you got your quarterback who's a good quarterback, but in them super big games, I don't see it. And so when you have all those factors, I think that's what keeps Dallas held back. And I love my team. Please don't think I don't. That's just where I'm at. Big Game James. Happy holidays to you. I'm out. Peace.